Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. What can I get for you?
Looking for something really fresh. Do you have anything like where a guy murders someone and everybody thinks he's a hero?
Pull up to the second window and we'll see you next crime.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. I'm John here with Jamie, who might be resentful.
Nah, dude, not of you. This is certainly a case we need to cover, and I think there's enough out there for a true crime to go for now. Eventually, there's probably going to be enough information out there for a whole episode series or season of topics to deal with Luigi Mangione and what he has done. But for now, it's things are rough for me over in social media world.
I mean, Jamie posted a video saying, basically, I'm going to paraphrase, like, you know, this guy murdered someone, and we as a society, not Jamie and I, but we as a society are like, yeah, he deserves, the guy that he murdered deserved what was coming to him. You and I do not lend our voice to that conversation. Two wrongs do not make a right. So, let's just talk about the case from a non-biased position, and then we can wrap up at the end with whatever we want to talk about.
We could spend probably 2 episodes with all the awful comments that are coming in on our social media.
They are insane.
It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not taking it down. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. We do not agree with most of the opinions on there. Brian Thompson was the CEO of United Healthcare. This was a man representing one of America's largest corporations, and his alleged killer, Luigi Mangione, is a man who harbored resentment against corporate greed. And there was some other things that he mentioned as to the reason why. Like, he was denied some pain medications that
his mom was denied some stuff. Yeah, there's a list, and he left what some call a manifesto. It was just 3 pages. I feel like a manifesto needs to be at least 20 pages.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just how I was raised. I don't know.
But let's kind of get more into the case, Jamie.
Yeah, this started out on December 4th when Mangione was visiting a Starbucks in Manhattan, and we have surveillance footage of that. Walking around with other customers. He had a big coat on. His face was covered with a mask and a big specialized backpack on. Hours later, outside of a Hilton hotel hosting an investors conference, Mangione approached Thompson from behind and fired 3 shots. One fatal shot went into his back, shot him once in the calf, and the other shot missed. And there was a 3D printed pistol that he used with a homemade silencer to conduct this shooting. Eyewitnesses described it as a chaotic scene. There were people all around driving by and walking by, ducking for cover. The precision that he acted with of just rolling up to this scene, shooting Thompson, and then like he escaped New York, it shows that he had been planning this for a while.
I want to just point out that the weapon he was using was 3D printed. Like, that's a whole new level of terror, right? Knowing that, you know, we can have even the tightest of gun laws, which we don't, but if we did, you could now make one at home with a 3D printer. And that's scary that literally now anyone has access to a gun because you can make it yourself.
And do you know what wouldn't catch that? A metal detector.
Right. Now, he used a magazine from a Glock, so he did have metal in his, but who's to say he couldn't have 3D printed that as well?
Right.
I mean, he just chose not to. But if you look at the video, you can see the gun jams every time he shoots, and he has to clear it and rack it. And I wondered, like, in my mind, watching it, I was like, what weapon is he using? Like, why? That is not a common thing to happen, and it happened multiple times. Now It makes sense.
Sure.
So the NYPD quickly got working on this. They gathered forensic evidence from the scene, but what they did the most was watch videos. They watched thousands of hours of surveillance footage, basically tracking him from the scene to the park and then eventually out of town. The photo shows Mangione smiling with distinctive dark eyes and eyebrows. This is talking about the picture of him eating at McDonald's. He was eating a hash brown when police rolled up on him.
Other evidence of the crime scene was the bullets actually had the words deny, delay, and depose written on them, which could be a reference to a book that was written about the greed in the healthcare industry. But 5 days after the shooting, Mangione surfaced in Altoona, Pennsylvania, which is about 200 miles from Manhattan. This is off of Interstate 99. And John, I love the way that this went down. It was a group of old men sitting around drinking coffee like they do at every McDonald's in the world. They kind of saw him, and then he took his mask off to take a bite, and they thought, well, maybe this is the guy. So they called, and local officers showed up. One's name was Tyler Fry. So Fry made the arrest at McDonald's, was pretty fascinating. They found immediately a fake New Jersey ID under the name Mark Rosario. There was a ghost gun, which is what they're calling it, in the backpack, and they had his manifesto. So they found this all on his person.
So in his backpack, they also found the weapon, which a lot of people are like, why would you still have the weapon that you used in your backpack 5 days after this? And I mean, I think it's a fair question. Most people would have probably tossed it in a river or something, but
I agree.
It was there. Like you said, the manifesto.
Well, for people saying it's not him, who else is going to have that gun?
Yeah. I mean, I guess someone could argue anyone with a 3D printer, but it's him. It's him. They have video of him. It's him. The manifesto revealed some of his motivations. He called these people parasites and expressed anger towards health insurance companies like United Healthcare. One line in the manifesto said, quote, "These parasites had it coming." Another line said, "I do apologize for any strife and trauma, but it had to be done." Law enforcement described the note as a symbolic declaration against corporate corruption, though it lacked any specific threats against Thompson himself. Just an insane case. And Jamie, I think people pretty much know this case. I want to spend the last few minutes. Of course, this guy's going to have to go through due process, just like any other person who's arrested, and we'll see what comes of that. I genuinely do not understand, even on your most frustrated day with insurance companies, how you could be just totally fine and on board with this guy murdering the CEO of the company. The McDonald's where this guy was arrested got negative reviews for staff of the McDonald's calling the police. TikTok and social media is wild with people just supporting this guy. And it's insane. I mean,
very public support of this, calling him a hero and saying that he did a service to our country. Now, if he had staged some kind of, you know what, I'm not even going to get into that, but there are ways to be a hero. Killing somebody that's walking down the street, shooting them in the back is not a way to be a hero.
Absolutely. I really have nothing else to add to that.
And we've been speaking out about it really since day one. You made a TikTok like the day that it happened about that. We've made several other posts, and we are getting absolutely slammed, which I'm kind of enjoying, to be honest with you. But people are, just calling this guy a hero. I don't know. It's like saying he's Robin Hood or something. I just can't wrap my mind around why people think this is okay.
Yeah. Look, insurance companies, I work with them almost every week because I have a son that requires life-saving medications every single minute of the day.
Yeah.
You were with me the other day. I had to be on the phone for 2 hours because my son's insulin, which literally keeps him alive, requires a prior authorization every 3 months. Okay, so when I'm on the phone with him the other day, I was like, well, a miracle hasn't happened this 3 months, so we're going to need to go ahead and just approve it. How about we approve it because I'm running out and he has to have it to live.
And that's frustrating. It really is, John. I can't imagine living through that every day like you have to do it. And are you going to be able to change the system? Unfortunately, probably not. But you know what else won't change the system? Killing somebody.
I do have hope that there are appropriate avenues to make change. It starts with our politicians. It starts with our government because they're the ones who have let the insurance companies get to where they are today. There are multiple groups that I'm a member of. I am a member of the T1D Diabetes Foundation, and they send people to speak to legislation all the time. I've not been invited yet, but I hope my day comes because I will tell them what I think.
That would be great, yeah.
And advocate for change, but I'm not going to murder. The murder of this man changes nothing. It
Zero
is just
things.
evil, evil, evil.
Except it sets a precedent that other people may try to copycat this now. It's especially if you're going to call him a hero. You know who else wants to be a hero? Other dumb people who are willing to shoot somebody in the back.
Yeah. And now with the access to 3D printers, literally anyone can make a weapon. And that is the scariest thing to me.
And I'm fully aware that some of our regular listeners may feel differently than we do about that. And that's fine. We can disagree. But if you are going to this says a lot about you, what you say publicly. And the only message I'm trying to get across from us is murder is bad. We've kind of founded a podcast on that, so we're not going to back off of it now.
Yeah. All right, Jamie.
This is over 11 minutes. This is a true crime to go, but one of those you have to drive up and wait for. I like it.
Yeah. Dude, I've got a funny bless their heart story about that. So tune in next week and you will hear that story.
Go read the comments. See what people are saying about us. Go defend us, please. I'm just kidding.
All right.
It's been a crime story in 10 minutes or less.
Would you like crime with that?
You've listened to True Crimecast, distributed by Stoveleg Media. Check out stoveleg.com to find out more about your hosts and to find other podcasts to listen to. Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.